The Bitcoin community is ablaze with excitement and speculation following the Federal Reserve's new quick payment system, FedNow. Many cryptocurrency aficionados and investors have assumed that this new payment system may incorporate Ripple's XRP, signaling a significant uptake of the digital currency by one of the biggest banks globally. How much of these statements are true, though? What is the real connection between XRP and FedNow? More significantly, what is the Federal Reserve's true position on cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology? We'll examine what is known, what is speculated, and what the future of XRP in relation to FedNow might actually hold in this in-depth investigation. First off, FedNow is the Fed's answer to the U.S. economy's increasing need for quicker, more effective payment systems. It is intended as a real-time payment and settlement service that is available to banks and other financial institutions around the clock, giving them the ability to send and receive money instantaneously. Although FedNow promises lightning-fast settlements, it's crucial to remember that the Fed has said unequivocally that FedNow is a centralized system that is owned and run by the Fed. It is not dependent on the distributed ledger technology or decentralized validators used by cryptocurrencies like XRP, in contrast to public blockchains. Nevertheless, due to its remarkable technological capabilities, XRP is often brought up in conversations about FedNow. The firm that created XRP, Ripple, has long marketed the token as the perfect digital asset for payments and cross-border settlements due to its scalability, low costs, and quick transaction speeds. Additionally, Ripple has formed alliances with significant U.S. banks, including pilot programs with PNC Bank and other financial behemoths. These collaborations go beyond pilot programs to include practical applications that are revolutionizing the banking sector. PNC Bank can provide its clients cross-border payments more quickly and effectively by utilizing Ripple's blockchain technology, which drastically cuts down on transaction times and expenses. Additionally, Bank of America is showcasing practical applications of XRP that enable very instantaneous liquidity and settlement. This partnership provides evidence of Ripple's technology's dependability and effectiveness. A major gain over conventional banking techniques, Bank of America has been able to optimize its payment procedures and guarantee that cash are available nearly instantly. These trials offer compelling proof that XRP's technology complements the goals of FedNow-style systems, making XRP an obvious choice for cooperation or integration in the future. XRP technology's smooth payment integration has the potential to completely change how financial institutions process transactions by making them quicker, safer, and more transparent. Ripple is positioned as a major participant in the future of banking and finance thanks to its collaborations and technology developments as the financial industry continues to change. The Federal Reserve does not currently have any plans to add XRP to FedNow, despite this possible match. In its formal statements, the Fed has been extremely cautious about blockchain technology. Federal Reserve papers do not directly reference XRP or imply that the Fed intends to embrace any cryptocurrency anytime soon, despite acknowledging the potential advantages of distributed ledger technology. The Fed's strategy is centered on preserving national security, financial stability, and regulatory compliance, all of which provide formidable obstacles to the broad integration of cryptocurrencies into official government payment systems. Uncertainty is further increased by Ripple's continuing legal disputes with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. The long-running legal dispute raises concerns about whether XRP qualifies as a security. The entire cryptocurrency market, not just Ripple, may be significantly impacted by this designation. Significant regulatory obstacles have been established by the SEC's lawsuit against Ripple on whether XRP is a security, making it more difficult for traditional financial institutions to accept XRP. Because of the continuous legal ambiguities, many banks and other financial institutions are reluctant to accept or incorporate XRP into their systems. Given the possible legal ramifications and the have to adhere to federal rules, let alone those set forth by the Federal Reserve, this hesitancy seems sense. As a pillar of the American financial system, the Federal Reserve is especially wary of incorporating any asset or technology that is being investigated by the government. The verdict in this case might establish a standard that influences future regulations of other cryptocurrencies. FedNow or any other federal infrastructure is unlikely to act to integrate XRP on a substantial basis until this legal challenge is settled. The outcome of this case will have a significant impact on XRP's future and place in the larger financial system. Due to the potentially enormous ramifications, stakeholders are keeping a careful eye on the developments. Blockchain technology's place in FedNow's future is still being determined. The Federal Reserve is currently investigating and testing distributed ledger and blockchain technology. However, these initiatives are still mostly experimental as of right now. Although practical implementations of the technology are still in their infancy and are distinct from the centralized FedNow system, the Fed's reports indicate interest in the technology's potential to increase efficiency and transparency. In Washington, there is still a lot of political and regulatory opposition to blockchain-based payment methods, mostly because of worries about financial crime, money laundering, and cryptocurrency volatility. These facts highlight how crucial it is for investors and holders of XRP to control expectations. The notion that the Fed is about to integrate XRP or that it is covertly supporting Ripple is premature, even if XRP presents a strong use case as a quick and affordable settlement asset. More time, clearer regulations, and collaboration between the public and business sectors will be needed for the institutional adoption of XRP. Although Ripple is refining its technology and growing its alliances, it will take time to establish itself as a major force in the American payment system. To sum up, FedNow's debut represents a significant advancement for American payment systems, emphasizing the demand for quick and easy financial transactions. Though official FedNow approval or sponsorship of XRP has not been confirmed and is at best speculative, its speed and low cost make it a strong contender for some sorts of quick settlement solutions. The Federal Reserve is still carefully researching blockchain technology, acknowledging both its advantages and disadvantages. Any integration with the financial system will be carried out with the highest care thanks to this methodical methodology. They are putting regulatory compliance and security ahead of instant crypto integration. This indicates that stringent procedures for testing and validation are in place to protect the financial ecosystem. The market will be greatly impacted by regulatory changes, so investors should exercise patience and keep an eye out for them. Making educated selections requires keeping up with the most recent events and fashions. The future of XRP in institutional payments will be influenced by court decisions. When and how XRP can be used in regular financial transactions will depend on court decisions and regulatory policies. The reality that broad institutional adoption is a difficult, protracted process with numerous moving components should not be obscured by the excitement around FedNow and XRP. Various parties, such as financial institutions, regulators, and technology providers, must work together. Widespread institutional acceptance is a multifaceted, protracted process. It includes not only new technology, but also market readiness and regulatory approvals. Understanding the actual possibilities and difficulties facing XRP and the larger cryptocurrency ecosystem requires remaining realistic and informed. Attending conferences and seminars on finance on a regular basis might yield insightful information. Both opportunities and challenges lie ahead for XRP and the larger cryptocurrency ecosystem. Stakeholders may better navigate the changing market and take advantage